From a sand-carrying ship literally rolling over in the Yangtze River and a 140-foot mega yacht sinking in the Mediterranean to an off-balance cargo ship capsizing while docked and an abandoned boat crushed by a powerful swell, here are 7 capsizing ships that were caught on camera. The Yangtze River is the 3rd longest river in the world. It spans 3,900 miles across China, beginning in the Tibetan Plateau and emptying in the East China Sea near Shanghai. According to the World Wildlife Fund, the Yangtze sports some of the highest levels of biodiversity in the world. Its basin is also home to over 400 million people, almost a third of China's population. The Yangtze plays a major role in the Chinese economy, with trade ships traveling up and down every hour of every day. But on July 9th of 2018, one sand carrier didn't reach its final destination. Against the wide backdrop and the massive river, this sand carrier looks more like a small ferry when it tips over. But as it moves down the river and across the screen, we see how big it really is. We imagine it's a carbon copy of the cargo ship it passes by the end of the video. Sand carriers are another name for hopper barges, which are non-mechanical ships that can't move on their own. Instead, they rely on tugboats to push and pull them as needed. There were apparently 7 people on board when this sand carrier capsized, but all 7 were quickly rescued. Cargo-wise, hopper barges will carry rocks, soil, or sand into an ocean or river and then dump it for land reclamation. In other words, they help make artificial land. Mong Khai is a northern Vietnamese city located right on the Chinese border. In November of 2013, Typhoon Haiyan wreaked havoc in the Philippines and southern China. But according to Al Jazeera, Vietnam avoided the worst of the damage. Still, Haiyan made its mark on Mong Khai after it caused a mineral mining boat to capsize and float down the river. Eventually, the boat came face to face with a bridge, and the bridge won. You can hear the moment onlookers see the boat coming as they begin to holler and police officers blow their whistles. Thankfully, there is nobody on the bridge when the ship crashes clean into it. The raging current forces the boat to crumble under the sturdy bridge before it eventually gets stuck. Once they deem it safe, some spectators walk over for a closer look. Incident reports from Vietnam are hard to come by, but one thing is for sure. Mong Khai knows a thing or two about building sturdy bridges. The Kvarner Bay is a body of water in the Adriatic Sea off the coast of Croatia. Its warm waters and beautiful climate make the surrounding islands a popular tourist destination for diving enthusiasts. In May of 2016, while attempting to make an artificial reef for recreational divers, a Croatian businessman decided to scuttle or intentionally sink a decommissioned Navy ship, the VIS. However, the controlled sinking turned dangerous when 2 men were still on board. Two tugboats pull the VIS into the middle of the bay and position it above its final resting place. We see a man in an orange jumpsuit standing over the railing. Maybe someone forgot to tell him the ship was about to blow. A controlled explosion detonates under the ship, sending a massive splash of water right in his face. From here, the boat starts to lean to the side and sink. Multiple cameras capture the process as it unfolds. It's pretty slow at first, but as time goes on, it sinks faster and faster. In a matter of a few seconds, all that's left is the bow sticking out of the water before the VIS disappears once and for all. According to Naval Today, this was the first official scuttling in Croatian history. They predicted it would take over an hour for the ship to sink, but the whole thing was gone in 4 minutes. Normally, old ships get scuttled when they become a navigation hazard. Armies will also scuttle damaged ships so their enemies can't capture, refurbish, and use them. For example, after the battles of Midway and Coral Sea during World War II, the USS Lexington and 4 Japanese ships were scuttled to prevent the opposing navy from getting their hands on them. Our Croatian businessman bought the VIS in 2002 with plans to turn it into a luxury yacht. But the refurbishments proved too expensive, so he decided to scuttle the ship and turn it into a diving attraction. As for the 2 men on board, they rushed to the stern and were rescued by waiting boats. Local reports said neither sustained any injuries, and one paper quoted them as saying the whole thing wasn't a big deal. Nias, North Sumatra is a tiny island off the west coast of Indonesia. It's known for having some of the best waves in the Indian Ocean and attracts avid surfers from all around the world. In July of 2018, surfers were enjoying the best waves they'd seen all year when one snapped the anchor on their surfboat. Onlookers watched from the beach as the empty boat looked like a stick in the rough water. We open on the boat, narrowly making it over the first big wave. The crowd is excited, but has no idea what's coming next. Another wave strikes, lifting the boat clean out of the water and flipping it upside down. A surfer named Carlo was in the water when the boat flipped over. He called the wave the biggest swell of the century, while his buddy Daniel recorded from the shore. Surf boats like these are meant to ferry surfers between the islands. Hopefully this crew had a plan B. San Francisco is one of several municipalities that make up the Camotes Islands in the Philippines. According to geotarget.com, it's also one of 36 San Franciscos in the Philippines. On August 31st of 2019, a crowd of Filipino San Franciscans gathered and watched as a cargo ship listed left and took on water. Eventually, the weight became too much and the entire boat capsized. The situation turned scary when a parent and their child got stuck on board.
Oh my God!
Loy mo dapat langoy.
Pagdali! Ala!
Loose items slide towards the water and the ship tilts to a 90-degree angle. A few people point towards the wreckage, and you can see an adult carrying a small child as they try to escape the sinking ship. They seemingly appear out of nowhere, but thankfully some brave bystanders jump on board and pull them out. According to Rappler, a Filipino news website, the ship capsized when a 10-wheel truck slipped while unloading. The incident report claims the truck caused a balancing issue, which caused the RoRo or RORO ship to list toward its starboard side. What is a RoRo ship, you ask? Ro-ro stands for roll on, roll off, meaning cargo gets loaded onto the ship via a ramp instead of a crane. Ferries are a good example. 149 passengers and 18 crew members were on board when the ship began to lean. All of them made it safely to the dock, with only 4 sustaining minor injuries. Catanzaro, Italy, also known as the City of Two Seas, is the capital of Calabria and home to some beautiful coastal towns. The sprawling seas attract yacht enthusiasts worldwide, but the ocean doesn't care how expensive your boat is. On August 20th of 2022, a superyacht named My Saga sank to the sea floor about 9 miles away from the Catanzaro marina. Italian Coast Guard footage begins as rescue boats pull up to the sinking vessel. They watch as millions of dollars worth of luxury slowly sink in the Gulf of Squillace. Every time the footage cuts, the yacht sinks deeper and deeper. Eventually, a tugboat arrives to try and save My Saga, but it's too late. The yacht's bow finally dips below the surface, never to be seen again. According to the New York Post, the 130-foot superyacht was headed from Gallipoli to Milazzo and flying under a Cayman Islands flag. According to Superyacht Times, yes, that's a real thing, My Saga's problems began the night before when she started taking on water. The tugboat arrived at dawn and began pulling the boat back to shore, but worsening weather conditions forced them to let go. The Italian Coast Guard is currently looking into why she sank. Grenada is a small island country north of Trinidad and the Caribbean Sea. Every year, they host the Spice Island Billfish Tournament, a competition among anglers to see who can catch the best billfish, also known as swordfish, marlins, and spearfish. The Spice Island Tournament went 49 years without a scare until a boat named Gotta Go placed a distress call during the 2018 contest. They were taking on water and fast. Thankfully, another nearby fishing boat, the Cool Runnings, arrived in the nick of time and plucked them out of the water. The video opens moments after our cameraman, Carlos, and his colleagues received a mayday call over the radio. They hurry to the sinking ship's coordinates, only to find it nearly submerged. The Trinidadian crew had already jumped ship and were floating thanks to life jackets in the water. Cool Runnings tries to hold its position, but the open ocean waves make it hard to stay in one spot. They holler to the men in the water to move away from the wreckage, but we imagine it's pretty hard to watch your boat sink down to Davy Jones's locker. Carlos said the boat sank within 20 minutes of the distress call and had no idea what caused it to take on water so fast. According to Richard McIntyre, chairman of the organizing committee, Gotta Go had already caught 2 big yellowfin tunas and was wrestling with a third when they began taking on water. He thinks they were too distracted by the potential prize-winning catch to notice their boat was sinking. When they did, it was too late. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click the link on screen now to see another one just like it. And with that, thanks for watching and be sure to tune in next time.